Hey YouTube, so today we're going to do a tune-up to the Cratftsman that I found last week and a few other odds and ends. I'm going to put on a better blade, one that's not all chewed up and banged up like this one. I'll be using a lawn chair, folding chair that I found on the curb yesterday. It's like brand new. I'm going to put on the correct blade adapter. I ordered one. Part number, if it comes out, 532418373. And of course, I got a cup of coffee. Let's get to work. So one of the first things we're going to do is take off my temporary blade and blade adapter. The bolt is a 9/16. And don't forget, before you do, disconnect the spark plug. Blade's off, blade adapter's off. Let's put on the new one. So here is our blade adapter. Should fit on there. And our blade adapter is on. It just required a little lubrication on the shaft and a hammer. I was careful not to hit these tabs because you need those. They line up with the blade. I'll show you, it's just a little bit different than the original one. This one's kind of oval shaped on the edges. This one's rectangular, has corners. But it's the same blade adapter. It's a very wide, I think it was, it's a 25 millimeter when I ordered it, a very wide crankshaft on this engine, which surprises me. But now let's get the blade on. And here is our sharpened, scavenged out of my hoard 22-inch blade, and we'll reuse the old nut. So we'll get that on. Blade's back on. I'll show one other thing I like to do on these mowers. These older Briggs come with this aluminum piece on the rope, and I think that's meant to catch the rope here. If you would disconnect it from the handlebar, it won't go all the way back in. Let's say your handle comes off and you disconnect it from the rope. Well, the rope would all go back in the rewind. This stops it. But when mowers get some age and some wear on them, the handlebars, they get some play to them, and then you can see the rope going in and out here. When it's running and you have that play, those tabs that catch the starter cup to start it, they actually come out enough and you can hear it grind on the starter cup as it's running. So in order to prevent it from doing that, I'm going to try to remove this and move it further down. What I'm going to use, I'm going to get a couple pair of pliers and try to pry this open on each side. Remove it, move it down here, and then pinch it. Sometimes I can get these and sometimes I can't. Got it. So you can see the play in the handlebar. Okay, there's actually some movement down underneath. I'm going to look at that. So I think you can see the wheel mountings on the side of the mower there. They even move a little bit. So when I put that piece on, I want to have the rope out as far as it will come with the amount of play in the handlebar. I'm going to put it right there. I think that'll do it. So now, when you have play in here, it's not pulling that rope out anymore. I still have the spark plug disconnected. I'm going to give it a couple pulls and make sure nothing hits underneath. That sounds good. So I just checked the oil. It has enough to warm it up. It has plenty of gas. Let's start this, let it run, warm that oil up, and we'll change it. Prime. I'm going to put a bungee cord on the handlebar. Alright, we'll let it run about 10 minutes. Now we'll change the oil. Here we are back underneath the lawnmower. Before I do anything there, I'm going to disconnect the spark plug. There is our drain plug. Normally what I do is I take the blade off and sharpen it while it drains. Well, I just sharpened it. So we'll leave it on. But we'll get the drain plug out. It takes just the square end of your socket. It fits right in there. So I unthread it, get it loose, and then I put on a oily glove because the oil will be hot. And my glove is on. And I will set it down as I pull the plug out. And here is the back side of the plug. It actually looks very good. So I think this mower's been maintained. While this sits on the oil drain pan, I will let it vent by pulling the dipstick out. That should help the oil come out a little better. While we wait for this to drain, let's check the spark plug and the air filter. The spark plug is going to be hot. I have a rag. As that shows, that looks really good. I'm just going to put it right back in. So you can use a flathead screwdriver, or I like to use a socket wrench. It's a 5/16. looks almost brand new. So I'll see if I can knock any dirt out of here and I'll put it right back in. And I did knock a little bit of dirt out of here. You can see daylight through the fins. So this is still good. We'll put it right back in. And this thing runs so good, I'm not going to even bother checking the carburetor. I think it's fine, and I think the gas in it is fine also. Now that all the old oil is out, we'll put the drain plug back in. That should do it. As we did that just then, I made a brilliant discovery. This mower even has the mulch plug on it. Cool. Now we'll refill it with some oil. I use 30 weight. And it takes about 20 ounces. What I typically do is put in a little bit less, or what I think is a little bit less, let it settle, put the stick in, and check the level. And if I'm a little bit low, I add a little bit more. Now the head should be cooled off enough, and the spark plug, I'll put it right back in. I don't like to put the spark plug in when the head is hot. There's a greater risk of damaging the threads by over tightening. I think I did add a little more oil. If it shows, it's right up to that second dot. So I think we're ready to go. One final thing that I sometimes do on mowers, this rope doesn't look bad, but it is starting to fray just a little bit. So what I will do, just kind of melt the fringes. Try to beef up the rope just a little bit. That looks better. And there's the Cratftsman. Blade sharpened, air filter cleaned, spark plug checked, new flywheel key, new blade adapter, new oil. Let's give it a start. So there you go, people of the interweb. That's how you give a tune-up to your lawnmower. I apologize for the crappy grass cutting video. As you can see, we haven't gotten much rain here. So my grass is pretty brown and it's not really growing, so there's not much to cut. I think we got a good runner here. Our 4 3/4 horse Brigg & Stratton Cratftsman. So if we ever get rain, I'll test mow with this, and this baby will be up for sale. Thanks for watching. Oh, and the chair, it's fantastic. The end.